What's up, YouTube? How's everybody doing out there? This is Mount Vernon Kid coming back to you again, and as promised, like I said, the countdown begins. So we are officially starting at Opinion Spot episode 99, and like I said, I'm gonna get these request fights out. So the first fight it was requested by a new friend of mine called SSJ Thug, aka in my book I call him Super Saiyajin Thug, and he brings the fight between Dante of Devil May Cry's brother Vergil versus perhaps one of the greatest Final Fantasy villains of all time, Sephiroth. Now this is what's up, because not only did I have this fight in mind, Sephiroth go against somebody else outside of from a video game, but this was good. So SSJ Thug, this is one hell of a fight, dude. So let's start off with somebody we all know, okay? And that's Sephiroth. Now, Final Fantasy VII is probably one of the greatest Final Fantasies in the entire legacy of the game. This is really what, I guess, in some people's mind, got them onto Final Fantasy. If it wasn't for 7, they probably wouldn't have done it. And that's not me, but that's coming from people I've talked to and said this is what put them on the map. And when Sephiroth came on the scene, we were all like, yo, who is this dude? This dude looks like badass. Long silver hair, the black long coat, and one hell of a long sword. It was like, okay, who's this? And when we got to see a backstory between him and Cloud, and you're fighting a monster and you take control of Sephiroth, and this monster has like over 99,000 points, life points. Sephiroth, you hit him once and it was over. So you knew right off the bat, excuse me, that this guy was badass. And the fights between Sephiroth during the end of Final Fantasy, let me tell you, it took me days, hours to complete. I used to get so mad at myself, like to the point I had to like just go around leveling myself up just to beat this guy, you know. But Sephiroth is a badass villain. He is 100% badass. He has his own agenda. He had his own agenda, and let's face it, the moment he killed Aerith was like, my mouth was like jaw dropping, like, oh man, you bastard. Basically, I would say, oh, you gotta be a bastard. And Sephiroth is just one of those guys you gotta love. You love him as a villain. You love this guy as a villain. And then when they put out the Advent Children movie, which was perhaps the greatest video game movie, 3D video game movie at its time, better than that crap Final Fantasy movie that they put out before. This is what should have been put out. And the battle between him and Cloud then was off the chain. We got to see Cloud do Oni Slash. It was great, but the fight between him and Sephiroth was great. One intense battle, and that's what you're gonna bring. That's what Sephiroth's gonna bring to the table. An intense battle. It's not gonna go. It's not gonna be one-sided, where his combatant's gonna be just beating him up. There's gonna be a point where it's going to be vice versa, to the point maybe Sephiroth is taking it to his combatant. And speaking of his combatant, let's talk about Vergil. Vergil is the brother of Dante. I never knew Dante had, I should say Sparta had 2 sons, But that's the thing about the Devil May Cry series. It's chronologically not in order, basically. So 3 is basically where it starts off, then 4, then the rest. And I think the anime goes in there somewhere as well. But Vergil's badass too. Don't knock Vergil. Vergil is one of those characters that you're like, wow, this guy is probably even badder than Dante. And I always said Dante talks a lot of shit, but he backs it up. Dante is, as my book, is like the Muhammad Ali of video games. He talks a lot of shit, but he backs it up. And when somebody that is on par to Dante comes along and can take it to Dante, like Vergil did in Devil May Cry 3, it was like, whoa, okay. So when you put these 2 badasses together, the outcome is going to be badass. I can see destruction everywhere. It's going to be one badass sword fight, because both Vergil has a mystic sword. His sword has mystical properties, just like Dante's does. Sephiroth, as much as we don't want to admit it, but that long ass sword of his has mystical properties. So it's going to be a mystical sword battle, as well as who's got the better swordsmanship. And none of these 2 characters is going to make any mistake, because if they do, one of them's going to capitalize on it. You know what I'm saying? And you take that into consideration, and you're like, okay, if Vergil makes one mistake, it's over. If Sephiroth makes a mistake, Vergil will capitalize on it. So it's going to be down to who's going to make the one mistake first. I see this battle going the distance. I even see Vergil even using his demonic side to battle Sephiroth. But who knows, that won't stop. That won't put any fear in Sephiroth's eyes. I call him Sephiroth. It sounds better. I don't see any fear in each of these guys' eyes. However, in the long run, I'm sorry, I see Sephiroth coming out on this. I do. I really do. I really see Sephiroth coming out on top. Probably because of the experience that Sephiroth has had, over the years of being part of the army and everything in the Final Fantasy universe. But don't get me wrong, Vergil's going to put up a fight, but in the end, I see Sephiroth coming out on top. But you guys tell me what you think about this. Show some love and respect to SSJ Thug for requesting this fight. And this is Mount Vernon Kid saying one love. Stay tuned. This was episode 99, and the saga continues.